Well, hello there, AMC. Up almost 10% here on the day today. We could be looking at a gamma squeeze that is in the formation. Yeah, that's a crazy thought. This could send AMC stock potentially to $9 plus by the end of this week. We had some good news today. We'll talk about it here in this video. I also want to talk about what some people are saying out there, including JP Morgan, about our markets. Doesn't sound pretty. We have a lot to get into in a very short amount of time. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys have not done so already. You definitely don't want to miss this, and you probably want to share this video with as many people as possible, and that is your way to do that. Free 99. So, your news today that really had AMC somewhat bullish, right? In the video earlier today, AMC was up less than 4%, like 3.8%. Now it's up about 10% at the end of the day. So you definitely seen this progression of bullishness throughout the day just get better and better and better. And I think there's an ultimate reason for that. But this is the news we went over in the video earlier today. AMC estimates Beyonce's Renaissance film topped box office with $21 million debut. Now, this concert film marked the first time a picture has opened over 20 million on the first weekend after the Thanksgiving weekend in 20 years, the Associated Press reported. So this movie has done the best this last weekend out of any other movie in the last 20 years. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, the historical precedence of that is a, pretty big deal. Now, this potentially is showing that AMC can be a successful distributor of films. This obviously fundamentally can be great news for AMC, especially if more of these films do start to go to theaters. If more artists plan to do these, or more other just, movie theaters or movie producers want to do something like this, collaborate with AMC, that could mean, a stronger stream of ultimately profits, because this distribution, well, AMC gets a lot more of the dollars for every ticket that they sell to the Taylor Swift movie and the Beyonce movie than they do a normal movie. So fundamentally, this can be good news. And I think, just simply put, it's been a while since we've had good news. We had good earnings. What happened? Dilution, right? So this is the first sign of really good news we've had in a while. And of course, I would expect this to give AMC a positive reaction, but not 10%. So I've talked about this many times. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this point. But what you are seeing in the marketplace is a great shift of capital. Okay, so the NASDAQ was down 0.84% today. What actually happened was a lot of your big tech names were red today. Basically all of your big tech names. Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, Google, Amazon, Nvidia, they were all red between 1 and 4% today. The Russell was up 1.04%. My portfolio is heavily concentrated in Russell 2000 companies, and those stocks outperformed. This is a broadening out of our markets. But money is flowing out of big tech. So big tech controls your broader indexes, and that's why you were red. But your average stock actually did pretty good today. It was a pretty good day for your average stock out there. So it's a tale of two tales that are happening today. Is, your concentrated names over the past 12 months, where a lot of people have put their money in, they're not doing well now. Your interest rate sensitive companies are doing well here today. Let's take a look at the Fed rate monitor tool. And for March, you're expecting the first rate cut at a 51.1% probability. This is actually down from Friday's probability of 55.1%, but you're still pricing in a rate cut in March. Towards the end of the year, January, you're expecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rate cuts with a 31.2% probability. Now, there's a greater chance that we get 6 rate cuts than 4 rate cuts in 2024. So this is all a probability statistics game at this point. The more rate cuts that start to get priced into 2024, the more bullish the outlook becomes for stocks. To a point. If we start to expect too many rate cuts in 2024, then that's probably due to recession fears and fears of the economy. That would not be good. So 5 rate cuts with no recession, bullish. 10 rate cuts with a recession, that's bearish. Right now, we don't have that recession really on our watch. That's why we do want to be carefully, I mean very carefully, looking at the economic data that we get this week and the Fed coming next week. Now, tomorrow, we're going to get some big data that does come out. Tomorrow, we are going to get your ISM services PMI. That's expected at 52. That would actually be a slight uptick from last month at 51.8. So services expected to do well tomorrow, little bit better than what we seen last month or for October. For JOLTS job openings in October, we're expecting 9.35 million. If this number comes down, that's going to be good. If it comes down too much, that's going to be bad. Let's say this number, for whatever reason, tomorrow comes in at 7 million or 7.5 million. People are going to say, whoa, why are so many jobs no longer available? Are we heading into a recession? That would not be great. More job openings is actually better than less job openings, believe that or not. Sure, on the inflation side, the Fed doesn't exactly want to see that. But if you start to lose a massive amount of job openings quickly, then that's going to spread fears of a recession. So as long as the narrative does not become we're heading into a recession, well, I think stocks continue to do well from here. Or your average stock. Maybe not your indexes. Maybe your indexes do fall. Maybe your indexes do not play along because big tech does not benefit from rates going lower. Big tech actually benefits from rates going higher because, again, nobody decides whether or not to buy an iPhone based on the federal funds rate. No company decides to get Azure Microsoft Cloud products because of interest rates, right? They get those things because they either need them or want them. Has nothing to do with interest rates from the Fed, at least not on a small product like a phone, right? So that's important, and we definitely want to be watching that coming tomorrow. The rest of this week, we're also going to get a lot of data as well. JOLTS job quits tomorrow could also be important for October. You're expecting 3.6 million. So how many people are quitting their jobs? The higher this number is, well, It's usually means that people are just finding jobs elsewhere, right? If you quit your job, you usually get another one. Well, you were seeing a lot more job quits before when it was easier to get a job. Well, now it's been very low. So I would expect this to continue to be low. If it does go lower, then you start to say, hey, people are really staying put in their jobs. That could be good for wage inflation specifically. But again, we'll have to wait and see how that data comes out tomorrow. Now, JP Morgan, their top chartist, says the S&P 500 could tumble all the way back to 3,500, retesting bear market lows. Yeah. If that happens, or maybe I should say, the only thing that causes that is a recession. So you really would have to be dead set on a recession to believe that is coming. At the same time, JP Morgan's private bank says equities offer potential for meaningful gains in 2024. Says stress is related to higher interest rates and credit will be manageable and not enough to cause a recession. So what the heck's going on here? I don't know. Very weird, strange commentary coming from JP Morgan today. And obviously, some people are not in alignment with each other. Now, here is the economic or the earnings calendar for this week. Go ahead and pause this video if you guys would like. Quite a few interesting companies. I did make a trade on Toll Brothers. I'm going to be sending that alert out tomorrow for the trading community members. Link down below in the description of this video. I might send that out tonight as well, just so you can be ready for it. But that's an interesting trade for Toll Brother earnings, considering they're trading at all-time highs. And if we do start to get rate cuts pushed out to May or June, that trade could benefit a lot. We'll have to wait and see. I'll elaborate on that more in the trading community if you guys want to join that. Now, GameStop will report earnings Wednesday and after hours. That's the big one that could cause AMC to jump even higher. And today was already a pretty good day for AMC. If we take a look at the stock, AMC was up 9.18% in regular trading, up 0.33% in after hours. You're now at $7.51 per share. Now, the potential for a gamma squeeze is getting real. So you had at the $7 call about 15,000 options go into the money. At the $7.50 call, which you're technically above that here in after hours, you have another almost 15,000 contracts that do go into the money. At the $8 call, you have 13,215. At the $8.50 call, you have about 10,000. And at the $9 call, you have 63,000 contracts that will go into the money that are currently held on the options chain. So again, a gamma squeeze is because all these options that are held on the option chain, the market makers, they're not going to lose money, right, by letting you buy options. No, their job is to provide liquidity and to hedge either direction they need to. So on the upside, they hedge for the upside. On the downside, they hedge for the downside, right? Depending on the option activity, they do more or less hedging. Well, when they do hedging, because there's a lot of calls and the stock is going higher, that hedging is buying, right? They buy the stock, because if each option gives you the right to buy shares at that price, say 63,000 options, I mean, that's 6.3, technically 3.6, 6.36 million shares that potentially could be bought at the $9 strike, right? So if the stock gets to $8.50 or so, market makers say, hey, we got to buy, 6.36 million shares, because if we have to provide that many shares and AMC is $10 or $11 or $12, we're going to lose a lot of money. So we have to do that beforehand. And then as people sell those options, whatever, exercise them, then, shares start to move around, more shares start to get bought or sold. But long story short, the more options go into the money, the greater the likelihood of a continued rally, and it goes so on and so forth. So one big strike is not going to cause a gamma squeeze. But if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big strikes in a row, with the $9 strike, the furthest out the money strike with the most amount of open interest, that's where you can start to see quite a gamma squeeze, right? $9 per share by the end of this week is honestly not looking all too unlikely at this point. Now, if we take a look at the option statistics today, let's see. Go ahead and refresh this. You did see about 212,000 calls that were bought today, and about 70,000 puts that were bought today. So quite a decent amount. The total options volume for AMC was 282,000 versus total open interest of 1.34 million. It wouldn't surprise me if the option chain does start to populate even more coming tomorrow once that data does get fully aggregated. Now, if we take a look at the Stock Tracker data expiring this Friday, you do have about 20,000 calls currently in the money, 118,000 calls out the money, in the money puts at 4,600, out the money puts at 33,000. So quite a bit of activity here on the call side nonetheless. That can be pretty exciting, guys. So there you have it. Just my opinions here. If GME has good earnings on Wednesday, if the economic data tomorrow suggests that the Fed is right in looking to cut rates, job openings fall a little bit, ISM services maybe fall a little bit, but not enough to give you recession fears, then I think this rally continues higher. This great shift of capital continues to happen, and capital continues to get deployed into stocks like AMC. companies that have been improving, well-known household names that are not going anywhere, which is like an AMC, a SoFi, a Fubo, a Square, a PayPal. You know, those kind of names will continue to do well, and those are the names that did well today. So we will see. Let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. Let me know if you think a possible gamma squeeze is actually starting here. This could actually be the start of a gamma squeeze, in my personal opinion. So let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Nonetheless, that's going to do it for this video. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys made it to the end of this video, and if you guys want to share this information with as many people as possible. Nonetheless, that's it. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.